Hi guys, I'm Silwolf and today's video is a request from Daria Sound. And Daria has put a list of 11 questions for me for regarding taking Furbies travelling with you. Now, as probably some of you remember, and I'll link it at the end, Tips for Travelling with Furbies was a video I recently did. So Daria's wanted me to sort of build on the idea. So I'll read out the questions that she's asked and then I will answer them. So the first question is it safe to take a Furby outside for a walk or photo session? Yes, it's absolutely safe. You just pop the Furby in your bag and you can take it out. Which natural or other dangers Furby can face while being outside? Insects, animals, sun, water, people, children around. Well, obviously, if there's like insects and stuff, they won't probably bother with Furby. Make sure you don't put it near an ant's nest or something like that, but then people can normally tell when there's a lot of bugs around. Things like wasps and stuff won't bother unless you drop like honey all over your Furby or something, and why would you do that? So yeah, the only thing that might happen is if you're in the park with the Furby, a dog might come along and grab it. But again, unlikely. I mean, people's dogs don't tend to run up to other people in that way. They can sometimes, but it's rare. Children probably won't bother, but they might look. I've found it. If I ever take Furbies or anything out, children don't really come up to me, but sometimes they'll look from afar. Number 3 is how to take care about a Furby outside for keeping it clean and secure. Well, just don't put it anywhere where it's dirty. Like, don't put it in the mud. Take it out on a dry day. If the grass or whatever where you're sitting or bench or anything is wet, don't put the Furby down on it. It's all common sense, really. Is it safe for a Furby to put him directly on the ground or other surface outside? Relating back to the last one, yes it is, so long as it's dry and clean, you know. Again, common sense. It's easy to tell if something's clean enough to put a Furby on. Basically, if it's not clean enough for you to sit on, it's not clean enough for the Furby to sit on. That's a good way of doing it. How to prepare yourself and Furby for going together on the outside. What you should not forget to take with you, how to carry Furby around safely and stuff. Well, the little Furblings, as you can see the one on the left there, they'll go in a bag, you know, like a backpack or handbag or whatever. As for the bigger Furbies, they're okay when being carried in a backpack, so you can just pop it in your backpack and it's fine. It's probably a good idea not to leave the batteries in, because the Furby will be wriggling around in there and might damage itself if it's, you know, on and moving around. So perhaps if you want to do a photo shoot or something with the batteries in, which is the best way to do them, you need to take a screwdriver with you so that you can pop the batteries in when the time comes to take the Furby out or anything like that, which is probably quite a useful thing to do. And that's for the types of Furbies that will wake up, like the one here. Other Furbies won't wake up unless you do something particular to them, like the Funky Furby in Furby 2005 obviously has an on-off switch, so you can leave the batteries in. And the 90s Furby, again, being rattled about in a backpack, could wake up. Or you can just carry the Furby, I suppose. But then everyone will look at you because you're walking down the road with a Furby yelling things. It's really up to you how you carry it around if you want to have the batteries in. But I suggest if you do have the batteries in, don't put it in your bag, because like I said, it'll probably end up being damaged. Number 6 is what to do if your Furby accidentally gets wet, dirty or damaged while being outside. Well, if it gets wet, obviously make sure you dry it out. You can use perhaps tissues or something to mop up any damp. If it's wet in the battery compartment, take, you know, a screwdriver to it, open it up and just take out the batteries and dry it with a piece of tissue. And don't put the batteries in till you know it's dry. Like, leave it a few hours till everything, the circuits and everything are dry. If they get dirty, well, you can always just dab them with a damp cloth. Yeah, it's the same as getting it dirty or wet in the house, really. Just make sure, if you're going to be really prepared, take a damp cloth with you. But I would sort of, if I was staying at a hotel or like, I'd just leave the cloth wherever I was staying, my house, my hotel, and if it got dirty when I got back, I'd clean it. I wouldn't bother taking a damp cloth with me. unless you're doing a photo shoot for some particular reason. It has to be clean and you can't afford to go back to get something. If it gets damaged, well, it gets damaged, doesn't it, you know. You take the appropriate steps to fix it. The next one is security laws, what you should not do with the Furby outside or while being in public places. This depends on what country you're in, really, and what area you're in. If you're just sat outside with a Furby, I can't think of anywhere that would frown on that. And I'm not sure why. It's essentially a toy, and kids take their toys everywhere. So I don't think that anywhere would really have an issue with things like that. If you go to a place where perhaps it's not really kind of, I won't say legal. If you go to a place where it's frowned upon to have something like this outside, don't take your Furby out. It's simple as. But most places, in fact, I think pretty much all places wouldn't have an issue with you having a Furby. That's an interesting one there. What you should do after coming back home with your Furby, cleaning, Furby checkup and other basic care. Well, just check the Furby over, make sure it's nice and clean and all working fine. Yeah, that's pretty much it for that one. What is the most safe and most dangerous places to hang out with your Furby? Okay, well, the most safe place, barring the home of course, would probably be like a cafe, because no one's going to come up and swipe the Furby off you. Most dangerous place, possibly like a park or something, or anywhere like anywhere where you could possibly someone could mug you or steal the Furby, which is any public place basically. It'll happen night or day. I suppose if you're down an alleyway with the Furby, then the chances of you getting mugged might be higher, but I doubt they'd take the Furby somehow. They'd probably just take your money. And as for dangerous places to hang out with your Furby, with regard to the Furby getting damaged, I wouldn't recommend hanging out with a Furby near a lake or a stream or anywhere where it could get knocked into the water, really. How to keep your Furby outside safe from the extra attention of children and dogs? Well, just be next to it or be near it all the time. Don't just put it in the middle of the grass and leave it there and go off and do other things, because children or dogs could come and take it. It's just keep an eye on it. That's the best thing to do. Just be near enough to it that you can grab it and keep an eye on it. Or don't take it out near any dogs. Children is a bit easier because, I mean, you can ask a child to have, you know, for the Furby back, unless the child decides to come along and kick the Furby or something like that. But most kids don't do things like that. I've not really known any kids to sort of go up to a complete stranger and just kick their stuff around, unless the kid's got some sort of problem. So, yeah, just stay safe, stay close to your Furby, you know, and don't let it out of your sight. How to prevent your Furby from getting stolen or lost in public places, and that's the last one. So, how to prevent it from getting stolen or lost? Again, just keep an eye on it, be close to it at all times. You know, have it next to you or like sitting on your lap. If you're doing a photo shoot, don't walk a mile away and take a picture of it, because then it might get stolen. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just keep an eye on it and be close to it. So, I hope that you found this video useful, Daria. I know you said that you hadn't seen anyone else do a video on something like this on YouTube, so I hope it was of use. For more Furby videos, you can click the boxes below. As always, check out my Etsy or New Monday stores if you want to have a look at my custom plushies or commission me, or you can buy me a coffee on Ko-fi. The links are all in the description. And that's all for this time. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep being awesome. This is Silver, signing off.